Hello and welcome to Mr. Game Review Show. Don't forget to subscribe the channel, hit the like button and put a comment below the video. Thank you so much. Stone Protectors for the Sega Mega Drive, also known as the Genesis in some regions, is a side-scrolling beat 'em up that tries to capitalize on the popularity of the action figure-based cartoon series of the same name. Released in 1994, the game mirrors its source material, a group of rockstar warriors with magical stones fighting against an evil overlord. Despite its flashy concept, the game didn't quite manage to hit the right notes. Visually, Stone Protectors is fairly average for a mid-90s Genesis title. The characters are colorful and designed to match the toy line's troll-like aesthetic, but the animations feel stiff and there's a lack of variety in enemy designs. The levels are also visually uninspiring, with bland backgrounds that don't do much to enhance the experience. The gameplay is typical of the beat 'em up genre but lacks polish. You choose from one of 5 Stone Protectors, each with slightly different abilities, though they don't feel very distinct in combat. While the basics of punching, jumping, and using special attacks are in place, the controls feel sluggish and unresponsive at times. The combat itself grows repetitive quickly, with limited enemy types and a lack of exciting combo mechanics that other games in the genre, like Streets of Rage or Golden Axe, executed more effectively. Each character has a special move tied to their gemstone, but these powers feel underwhelming and don't add much strategic depth to the game. The levels are mostly straightforward, lacking any significant platforming or variety in objectives. It's a straightforward brawler with very little innovation. The music is one of the stronger points of the game, with energetic tracks that match the rock band theme of the Stone Protectors. However, the sound effects are repetitive and the quality is average at best. It doesn't leave a lasting impression like some of its competitors in the genre. The game does offer some challenge, mostly due to enemy hordes and some cheap hits that can make progressing feel like a slog. However, the difficulty often feels artificial because of the game's clunky mechanics rather than well-designed enemy encounters or challenging levels. Stone Protectors offers minimal replay value. While there are 5 characters to choose from, the differences between them aren't substantial enough to warrant multiple playthroughs. The lack of multiplayer co-op, which was a staple of many beat 'em ups at the time, also limits its appeal. Ultimately, Stone Protectors is a mediocre beat 'em up that fails to live up to the potential of its unique premise. While it has some charm for fans of the original cartoon or those nostalgic for 90s brawlers, it doesn't stand out in a crowded genre full of superior alternatives. If you're a hardcore collector or a fan of the franchise, it might be worth checking out. Otherwise, it's a forgettable entry that's easy to overlook. While Stone Protectors has its flaws, there are a few positive aspects worth highlighting. The game offers 5 playable characters, each with their own unique abilities tied to their magical gemstones. Although the differences between them aren't dramatic, it still provides some variety in playstyle. Fans of the cartoon might appreciate the chance to play as their favorite Stone Protector. The rock band theme is one of the more unique aspects of the game. The idea of a group of musicians doubling as heroes is fun and gives the game a quirky charm. The character designs, while troll-like, are colorful and reflect their personalities, aligning with the cartoon's playful aesthetic. One of the standout elements is the soundtrack. The music is energetic and rock-inspired, fitting the theme of the game and creating a sense of momentum during fights. While it's not groundbreaking, it does contribute to the overall atmosphere and enhances the action. For those who were fans of the Stone Protectors toy line or cartoon in the 90s, the game taps into that nostalgia. The connection to the larger media franchise can be a fun trip down memory lane for players who enjoyed the brand during its peak. Despite some of its graphical limitations, the game is visually bright and vibrant. It manages to capture the feel of a 90s action figure line with its bold character sprites and vibrant palette, even if the animations are a bit stiff. While the game is far from perfect, these positive elements may appeal to fans of the genre or those looking for a nostalgic throwback to 90s pop culture. Stone Protectors on the Sega Mega Drive features boss fights at the end of certain levels, which is typical for beat 'em up games. These bosses are usually larger and more challenging enemies than the regular ones you encounter during stages, and they require a bit more strategy to defeat. The bosses in Stone Protectors tend to be villains from the cartoon series, such as Zoc, the main antagonist, and his henchmen. Each boss has its own unique attack patterns, though they aren't particularly complex compared to other beat 'em ups of the time. The lack of variety in their mechanics can make them feel like beefed-up versions of regular enemies rather than memorable, climactic fights. Still, the inclusion of boss battles does add some moments of tension and difficulty, even if they don't have the same flair or creativity seen in more polished beat 'em ups. Whether Stone Protectors is worth playing depends largely on your preferences and what you're seeking in a retro gaming experience. Here are some factors to consider. If you were a fan of the Stone Protectors cartoon or toy line in the 90s, this game could hold sentimental value. It's a way to relive that era and enjoy a piece of media tied to the franchise.